Level 1. The Giovane d'Onore. You're 13 years old. You live in Reggio Calabria, in a village where the mountains press down against the sea and everyone knows everyone. There are no strangers here. The men who run this place aren't strangers either. They're your uncle's friends, your neighbor's cousins, the man who brought food when your father was sick. You've grown up watching them without knowing exactly what you were watching. Now you're old enough. A man named Enzo, who you've known since you were 5, pulls you aside after Sunday Mass. He says he has work. You say yes before he finishes the sentence. Your job is simple. You stand outside the tabaccheria on Via Torrione every afternoon from 3 to 7. You watch the road. If you see a car with 2 antennas, you walk inside and ask for a pack of cigarettes you don't buy. That's the signal. That's it. You make nothing. No money changes hands. This isn't payment. This is a test to see if you exist, if you can stand still, if you can keep your mouth shut for 4 hours in the sun without telling your mother where you were. The neighborhood watches you now, not with suspicion, with recognition. You don't know yet what you've stepped into. You just know it feels like something, like belonging. Level 2, the Picciotto. 6 months pass. You're 14, then 15, then 17, and you've been watching corners and running envelopes and keeping your mouth shut for 4 years. Enzo calls you one night. There's a ceremony. You drive with 3 older men to a farmhouse outside Africo. Inside, a dozen men sit in a circle. Candlelight, a holy image of the Archangel Michael. One of the older men cuts your finger. He squeezes a drop of blood onto the image. He lights it on fire and lets it burn in your palm. You don't flinch. Repeat after me. You do. You are now a Picciotto, a soldier. You are part of the Ndrangheta. Your family is not just blood anymore. It is also this. You understand something in that moment that you will spend the rest of your life understanding more deeply. There is no separation between what you swore tonight and what you are. This is not a job. This is a condition. You're paid €800 a week starting tomorrow. For now, you run packages between the locale and the distributors in the industrial port district. You don't know what's inside them. You learn not to wonder. Level 3, the Camarista. You're 22. You've made 11 runs to the port without incident. You've held conversations with police without breaking. You've watched 2 men disappear and said nothing. The locale promotes you. You're a Camarista now. The job changes. You're not running packages anymore. You're collecting debts and enforcing the rules that keep the system from collapsing. A construction company in the province owes the locale €40,000. The owner has been slow. You and another Camarista drive to his office on a Tuesday morning. You sit across from him. You don't raise your voice. You explain that the invoice is now 30 days overdue and that this creates a problem for everyone. He says he'll have it by Friday. You say Wednesday. He says Wednesday. On Wednesday, you collect the envelope and deliver it to the Capobastone. The owner calls your boss that afternoon to say what a pleasure it was doing business. Most collections go this way. Not all. A restaurant owner in the hills has refused twice. You visit him at closing time. You don't touch him. You sit at his best table, order nothing, and say, "Next week I bring 5 people with me instead of 2. He pays the following morning. You make €2,500 a week. But you're also the person they call when something needs to be handled that can't be handled with a conversation. A member of a rival clan has been seen photographing the locale's warehouse. You find him at a bar in Melito. You sit beside him. You buy him a drink. 2 hours later, he calls his boss and says there's been a misunderstanding. He leaves Reggio Calabria the next day and doesn't come back. You didn't threaten him directly. You didn't need to. This is efficiency. This is the craft. Level 4, the Santista. You're 28. You've been inside the life for 15 years. The Capobastone calls you to a private meeting, not at the farmhouse, at his house, his real house. His wife makes coffee. You sit in his kitchen and he tells you that the locale has voted. You're being elevated into the Società Maggiore, the higher society, the level above what most members will ever reach. The ceremony is more serious this time. There are men in the room you've never seen before, men who traveled from other provinces. You take a new oath. This one includes words you've heard referenced but never spoken. You learn what the Santa means. The Ndrangheta's highest reaches are not just criminal, they're woven into institutions, politicians, judges, notaries, Masonic lodges in Calabria, in Rome, in Brussels. You are told the names of 3 individuals who occupy positions of power and who are connected. You are told these names once. You will not write them down. You understand now why the Ndrangheta has never been fully broken. It isn't just a gang, it's a layer of infrastructure that exists beneath the visible world. Your income is no longer a salary. You take percentages. 5% of the cocaine that moves through your port contacts. 3% of the construction contracts that the locale directs to preferred companies. Last year that came to 180,000 euros. This year it will be more. Level 5. The Capobastone. You're 34. The Capobastone who elevated you has retired due to health. The locale votes and you are chosen. You are the boss of your crew. 12 men report to you. You manage the operations of the Ndrangheta across 2 municipalities. Your responsibilities are total. The cocaine shipments from the port, the construction kickbacks from the provincial government, the extortion network that covers 40 businesses in your territory, the discipline of your own members. One of your picciotti has been talking too freely at a bar in town. Not to police, to his girlfriend. You call him in. You sit across from him the way the Capobastone once sat across from you. You explain that the words we speak outside this family are the same as a wound we open inside it. He understands. He's frightened. Good. You're making between 15,000 and 30,000 euros a month depending on the quarter. You own 3 properties in your name and 2 in your mother's. You have a legitimate construction company that wins public contracts and uses Ndrangheta workers at Ndrangheta rates. Your accountant is a cousin. Your lawyer is a friend from school whose career you funded. Everything is held together by relationships that predate the money and will outlast it. A rival locale from Rosarno encroaches on a contract you expected. You bring the dispute to a higher authority. You don't escalate it yourself. That's the difference between a Capobastone and a Picciotto. You know when to wait. Territory isn't taken, it's negotiated, and then it's held. Level 6. The locale boss. You're 42. The boss of the entire locale has died of cancer, 72 years old. He ran the locale for 3 decades without a single conviction. The crimine consults. You are named his successor. You run everything now. All the Ndrane in the territory. All the Capobastone answer to you. Every cocaine shipment that touches your port passes through your permission. Every construction contract bid in the province goes through your office first. You manage a revenue of approximately 90 million euros annually. You don't touch cash. You haven't touched cash in years. The money moves through shell companies in Luxembourg and Cyprus, through real estate in Milan and Frankfurt, through a restaurant group in Toronto. The Guardia di Finanza has investigated your construction company twice. Both times the cases were referred to a prosecutor in Reggio Calabria who was a distant relative of your wife. Both times the case is closed. You attend your daughter's university graduation in Messina. Journalists photograph you from across the street. The next morning your name appears in a newspaper article describing you as a suspected member of the Ndrangheta. You eat breakfast. You read it. You set it down. Your lawyer calls a press lawyer who sends a letter. The article is amended to say alleged. You have not been convicted of anything. You are a businessman. That is your position and you will maintain it until the earth closes over you. But the pressure is changing. The European Union has begun seizing Ndrangheta assets in Germany and Belgium. They're targeting the financial layer now, not just the street operations. You think about this at night. You are the financial layer. Level 7. The Capo Crimine. There is a level above you. There always has been. The men who sit at the summit of the Ndrangheta are not household names. They are not El Chapo. They gave no interviews. They were not photographed at nightclubs. They are farmers' sons from villages in the Aspromonte Mountains whose families have run this organization for 4 generations. They're older now. Some of them operate from prison, where they have been for a decade, running the organization the way a CEO runs a company from a board meeting. Their orders travel outward in layers. Through lawyers, through wives, through cousins who are trusted because they share blood and because blood in this world is the only contract that cannot be broken. The outside world does not know their names. Investigators know fragments. A surname here, a photograph from 30 years ago there. These men do not exist in the way that you and I exist. They're a structure, a condition of the landscape. The Ndrangheta has survived every prosecution brought against it since 1955. It has survived the Maxi trials, the Pentiti, the asset seizures, the EU task forces, the American DEA, the Colombian authorities. It survives because it is not a gang. It is a family. And families do not end. You will never sit in that room. Even at your level, you are a manager. They are the architecture. And the architecture was here before you were born. Level 8. The end. You're 58. You've been in Germany for 8 years. Interpol has added you to a list. The EU Anti-Fraud Office has frozen 3 of your shell companies in Cyprus. The assets are not significant. Symbols. But symbols matter. You sit in a park in Dusseldorf in October. The leaves are coming down. You think about a Sunday morning in Reggio Calabria when you were 13 years old, standing outside a tabacceria watching the road. You think about Enzo. Enzo died of a heart attack in 2019. You sent flowers through a cousin. You couldn't attend the funeral. You think about what you told yourself at each step, that it was temporary, that you were building something for your family, that the rules you lived by were the only rules that mattered in the world you came from. You're not wrong about that last part. You get up from the bench. You walk back to the apartment. On the corner, there's a boy. Maybe 14? He's watching a car that came out of a building down the street. Watching it the way you once watched cars. Carefully, learning the patterns. His phone is in his hand. You walk past him without looking. You already know everything about him. You know where this ends. You know, and you walk past him anyway, because the machine doesn't stop. Because it was running before you joined it, and it will run long after you're gone. Back in your apartment, there's a message from your lawyer. Another asset freeze. Another case filed in Catanzaro. You pour a glass of water. You sit down at the table. You think. You think for a long time. And then you pick up the phone and begin making calls. Because this is the Ndrangheta. You don't retire. You don't escape. The blood oath you burned into your palm at 17 was not a contract with a company. It was a contract with a bloodline, and bloodlines don't have exit clauses.